Downloadable content, skins, season passes, map packs, loot boxes, weapon skins, announcer voice packs, characters, battle passes, shops, and horse armor. Many of these things I just said had you immediately think of what I was talking about. No matter the game, you probably loaded in an image of what you think of when I said those words. If you were to answer for what you think these would all cost separately, it would differ. A battle pass? $10. Some resource pack for a game? Maybe $5. A skin to purchase in Call of Duty? $30. Okay, pricey, but how about a skin from Overwatch that is from a prior season, but if you want the full skin from that prior season, you better pay for up to level 4, over $90. What the fuck?
We've got to have money.
For many years now, the world has been shuffled around when it comes to entertainment, whether TV, films, books, music, and games. Your favorite pastime of these has altered some way. Television series all release at once on streaming lately. Films are barely at the cinema now to come straight to renting on your TV, and Netflix also has screenwriters simplify their writing more for people who clean their house as they watch these 2-hour plus movies. Books are available via a membership from Amazon that if you pay that membership, you can purchase a book once a month of your choice while reading what they have available. Music is either solely on streaming services, or you've maybe started buying vinyls for your music a lot more lately, since that seems to be the big thing I've been seeing. I feel one of the worst changes of all these though comes from the one I haven't mentioned yet, but also to be fair, the films coming to streaming and renting on TVs soon after theater release is pretty scummy as well, but I'm talking about video games at the moment. For years, video games have been coming out and have changed over time since its young beginnings, as out of all of these pastimes, video games aren't the younger sibling of them all, even younger than sounding as a pastime. Don't Google sounding. There have been over 5 million video games released since the start of video games. I'm only joking about that. I just wanted to say that because I saw dumbasses online making that statement like they were right. They're really fucking dumb. Since games have been releasing though, there's always been that thing when it comes to games where you love a game so much, you just wish upon a star that there was more to it.
More.
There aren't any more.
More. More. More!
So of course, games started doing things like re-releases or expansions to the original games. Additions to these games you love like Warcraft 2 going beyond with the Dark Portal,
and Quake having mission packs, like Scourge of Armagon. Am I saying that right?
But after that, it slowly became an idea to see what could be done next, as the businesses wanted to start getting more out of this, as they began working on releasing paid content to add to the games, which will get us into what we are all very familiar with nowadays, downloadable content. And of course, we all know where the controversy of paid DLC started. Do I give you a hint? Well, of course I do. No, not really. But that's right, Microsoft Flight Simulator 1997. The game would add things like additional planes to fly and new landing locations as you explore the many locations you were given to explore, like New York City. Is that too soon of a joke? With this though, there wasn't a single person that really seemed to complain about this, but of course in 1997 the internet wasn't a crazy cesspool like it is now and as massive, so you couldn't really hear the complaints of many even if you tried back then. And even if you did complain about it for Microsoft Flight Simulator, I feel in 1997 you were legally wedged for that opinion like the little nerd you are. After this though, DLC would become this thing that just wasn't talked about too much yet. It would occur, but still wasn't impactful. But that of course really changed as we entered the Xbox 360 era with a little game we all know, not just because it's a great game, not just because it's one of the goats of RPGs, but also because of its infamous DLC at the time, Oblivion. As you all know what I'm discussing, and that is of course the horse armor cosmetic, a cosmetic armor released for your horse to put on and enjoy as an ugly distraction, because I have to admit, and be that guy, this is an ugly piece of armor.
You're one ugly motherfucker.
This thing hit the fan though, as many more voices were heard for this, as many had a lot to say, most notably saying, let's punish Todd Howard by spanking his bare ass and stealing his cool jacket he wears at E3 conferences. Although that might have just been me saying that. As we all know now though, this really wasn't the end, but the beginning of the next steps from businesses making money in the games industry. Games would release things like map packs, cosmetics, and DLC in general, but to be honest, it was pretty fair pricing. Most companies agreed to keep things like cosmetics and map packs at least under $10, and I mean, in the end, it's a couple extra maps for a Call of Duty and then an outfit or weapon skin. I mean, say what you will about Call of Duty season passes back in the day being pricey, but at least for their DLCs back in the day, it wasn't expensive, and if you bought a weapon skin, it worked on every gun. Things changed though, and time changed as businesses required more to support a game, and things really took a turn for the worst when multiplayer changed things up in the games. No longer would a game that relied on its multiplayer like a Call of Duty or Battlefield be on top of the mountain, but it would be competing now with words these games would hate: free to play. As games would release now that would take up your time away from these other games like Call of Duty and Battlefield, no more needing to pay full price for a game at launch to be up to speed with everyone, or pay a monthly subscription to play online like a World of Warcraft. Nuh-uh. Here comes free-to-play for console gamers as well, as free-to-play had been around for a while, but mainly on PC with games like RuneScape, Team Fortress 2, or League of Legends, and Club Penguin.
It really wasn't until 2011 where free-to-play came to fruition for console games with MMO Free Realms, a game I never knew was a thing until I started research for this video. The more you know.
Although some would say Phantasy Star Online on the Sega Dreamcast was the first free-to-play game, I specifically wanted to know the first fully free-to-play game, where you didn't have to bother with paying money and Free Realms was it. The game was a relative hit and sparked the start of fully free-to-play games, as other games like DC Universe Online then followed, but it was still a slow start as games that we know today for being free-to-play weren't a thing yet, even with games we would have thought were even when they were released. I completely forgot that PUBG used to cost money to play, but now it's free to play. Overwatch 1, as we remember, was a full price game at launch, but now that's free to play. We're all now used to the, if you want to be a popular multiplayer game these days, you either have to price it very low like a Lethal Company, or go free to play and take a chance on it being popular and also getting people into paying money, which is where we go into Fortnite. If you live under a rock, don't have internet yet somehow watching this video, or never been into a store that includes toys from Fortnite somehow, then to let you know, Fortnite is one of the most, if not most popular games being played around the world from consoles, PCs, and mobile. Created by my beloved ex, Epic Games, as I remember when they weren't just Fortnite and made games like Unreal Tournament and Gears of War. Kind of reminded me of Scott Pilgrim's ex-girlfriend Envy Adams, who sold out from who she was, but hey, get that bag I say. I would too, especially if I got famous from saying Hawk Tour on camera or something like that. Just less crypto scamming. Fortnite was this survive the night style game that focused on survivors battling through the nights against hordes of monsters as you would build structures to defend yourself from them, and was in development for years until plopping out and being forgotten pretty quickly. Though thanks to games like PUBG, Fortnite would bring in a new addition to its game with the mode Battle Royale, a very obvious cash grab from them to hopefully make it big like everyone else doing a Battle Royale at the time, like H1Z1, Apex Legends, Call of Duty, and of course Radical Heights. And lo and behold, this game blew socks off. Fortnite, not Radical Heights. Sorry gamers. Then Cliffy B, becoming a hit for streamers and YouTubers, and a hit for everyone as it grabbed gamers and their main audience, children and families, for being a not as violent battle royale game. I mean, yes it had guns in it, but there was never blood or gore in it, so parents may have had an issue at first, but little Timmy was happy as his parents continued arguing in the background as he slowly stopped playing Just Dance to ignore their fighting in the living room and whispering while playing Fortnite, "Take that, Mom and Dad." But like every free-to-play game out these days, there needed to be a reason to keep playing and get money and also pay back what they spent on making this game. And thus, of course, there became the introduction of a shop and battle pass for this game, as this would be their answer, and as we know, this was a success as well. And with Fortnite's popularity, people were knocking at the door to be part of it. Things were looking up for Fortnite, but like I always say, the business requires more and more. And Fortnite started a new test in the waters that would give results for everyone, whether good or bad, through the future pricing of DLC and cosmetics, as Fortnite would release skins in their shop that, depending on it, would vary in prices from a couple hundred V-Bucks to a couple thousand. And these cosmetics may differ in V-Bucks prices, but they cost a pretty penny, especially these days thanks to not only being skins of things people like, but also showing how gamers have a fear of missing out, aka FOMO. FOMO has become the biggest answer to games releasing skins and battle passes for their games, as they grab onto anyone even remotely into the game.
She's just a regular Malibu Stacy with a stupid cheap hat.
FOMO becomes a thing for everyone, whether that's missing out on launch day tickets to a movie, a music concert, or missing out on the tier 100 skin from a Fortnite battle pass, or a skin possibly not coming back for months, maybe in the Fortnite item shop. And this works for them as people don't want to miss out and become infatuated in acquiring these things no matter the costs, as we all know that these prices can be a hefty price, no matter the video game lately. A Fortnite battle pass these days will roughly cost you 1,000 V-Bucks, which is, in the Iron Upside Down terms, would cost about $11.95. That's not the worst thing in the world, but the worst feeling is what's in their item shop. A skin that includes the character you will buy, a back bling, pickaxe, and if you're lucky sometimes, a glider and loading screen will cost you roughly 2,400 to 3,500 V-Bucks, which amounts to, for Island Upside Down terms, 30 to 40 Australian dollars. When you think about it, the purchase of that skin could instead pay for a lot of things, as we can all agree. Pay for a dinner out for you, a trip to the movies with snacks, a gift for a loved one of your choice, or even a kitten to buy on Facebook Marketplace. I'm serious, it's probably much cheaper to buy a kitten on Facebook Marketplace than it is to buy the avatar skins in Fortnite. So finally, after 3.5 pages of script writing for this video and this history lesson I just gave you, I ask you finally, where the fuck did we go wrong?
Why can be an obvious answer, especially after my little history lesson that went over 3 pages in my Google Docs, but I have 6 different points that have come to mind to share when researching this video that I will go into right now. Number 1, games are more expensive to make now. As we all know, when it comes to rising prices for anything, especially in entertainment, I think the worst one of the big 3 from television, films, and games, video games has to be the most inflated recently. I mean, yes, of course, a new Marvel film's budget may have been $200 million, but from what we've seen online, Insomniac's Spider-Man 2 cost over $300 million. And that's just for a single-player open-world game that's exclusive to one console, and now also PC. Black Ops Cold War apparently cost over $700 million to make, which gets me thinking if Black Ops 6 cost the same. But how could it when they, for some reason, used AI art in their fucking game?
Daddy, chill.
What the hell is even that?
Budgets for these 2 alone are much bigger than what most films and TV shows are nowadays, and it's budgets like these that leave the games having to release DLC and cosmetics at their ludicrous the rapper prices. I'm sure people will say though, well, why don't they just put the prices of games up then if they're so expensive? But to be honest with you, I don't think that would help, as it would lead us to how things started with DLC, becoming a norm and businesses thinking, well, if GTA 6 is selling for $100 a copy, why don't we do the same for our next Assassin's Creed? As Ubisoft is finally acquired by a company that would fire the entire Guillemot family from that business, and Ubisoft would return to their glory days of being a beloved studio that released new games and forgotten series they own like Splinter Cell and Gamers Smile again. Hey, maybe the $100 thing could work for Ubisoft. Number 2, live service and free-to-play games have become the norm. As I've already talked about, free-to-play has become the new norm for multiplayer lately, as games like Overwatch, Fortnite, Marvel Rivals, CSGO, Destiny 2, and others take this approach. Many other games take this approach as well though, but fail, as we know from the amount of dead live service and free-to-play games that are in the same room as Joe Pesci and Goodfellas. These games really helped push DLC further down gamers' throats, I feel, as gamers see this as, well, it's a free-to-play, I can buy one skin to support these guys, or their battle pass, which I feel leads to the comfortability of increasing these prices. It's not you that makes these prices go up, but many that go ahead and purchase that said skin. Not to say that free-to-play is terrible or shocking or anything like that, it just began the real leap from where we are. I'm not going to shake my finger at smaller free-to-play games for doing this, as I understand that they need to make their money. But to be a game that isn't as giant as a Fortnite and have prices that are as expensive as a Fortnite honestly just feels quite hefty to me. Like I've said, it just takes one person's success to get that ball rolling for everyone, and it's why live service gets multiple failed attempts from companies who don't understand why Fortnite is popular, as in the end their thoughts are, well, the game can either fail miserably or we could have a Fortnite. You can never choose the first option, can you? WB Games. Number 3, FOMO and psychological pricing. FOMO has already been brought up in this video, but it truly is a sticking factor for many of these huge sales for games, battle passes, and item shop purchases, though it has sort of been dialed back a bit recently thanks to games starting to approach a buy now, finish later, or search it up later approach, most notably Marvel Rivals being the biggest face of that, though not the first with games like Halo Infinite, Helldivers 2, and Self-Harm Squad on Alliance to Justice League. I've said many things about that game being awful in many ways, but at least they knew to do this with their battle passes, since, let's be honest, no one would have given a shit shit if they missed out on the Joker Battle Pass. Wow, Joker Battle Pass, wow, I can't miss out on that. Of course though, that doesn't change for every game. There is still constant FOMO in the gaming space with things like Fortnite's item shop, as they reel you in with the whole best to get it now as we may not bring it back soon sort of approach. As most notably for me, the two skins I think of not returning to the shop recently are Kratos from God of War and Street Fighter characters, which I think at this point it's been years since their last release in that shop, which really works out for Fortnite, as the moment they're back, people who missed out won't make that mistake again and will buy the skins. I know there's many devious Fortnite players out there who wish they had Chun-Li and her emote. They just have to deal with me for now until it's back in the shop as I emote for them. I'm here for you gamers until then. This is then how psychological pricing gets involved, as they could raise or lower the price of that skin to then have you in your brain and the snail in your ear say, buy the skin, Liam, grab the police officer's gun. Oh, whoa, didn't mean that one. Anyway, psychological pricing, yeah, it really gets into your brain, not ear. Number 4, whales and microtransactions culture. I'd say this is one of the more obvious reasons these prices happen and everything else that happens for these games going further, but whales are a huge resource for these people and probably their most favorite people. Now, if you don't know what a whale is, it's of course a person who's a huge fan of a game, and when it comes to buying skins and battle passes, they will buy it day one no matter what. No matter the gamer or the game, you'll meet someone who buys everything that's part of the game, whether from the shop or the battle pass. They're paying more than full price for a game sometimes to get everything in that battle pass ASAP, the moment it's out. Hell, I remember when Season 1's battle pass for Marvel Rivals came out, and I saw streamers buying the battle pass entirely without thinking about the price. They did their reactions to the battle pass, went quiet, and bought the entire thing, which I know damn well NetEase started drooling gleefully at seeing these purchases. There's also a huge amount of TikToks I see of people live saying, give me a skin to find in Fortnite and I'll own it for sure. Like, bro, you got every Fortnite skin from the battle pass and store? Holy shit, man. And I think this alone gets people into the games and chipping in their hard-earned money also. They see it as a, if streamers do it, then I'll do it as well. Do not become a whale for this company. If you're like me, you don't have the funds like these streamers do who get sponsored or paid very well to just play the game and react to the cool new items in the shop, and then buy them all outright. Number 5, battle pass and monetization evolution. Battle passes really became the cultural norm for almost all games these days, to not only up their prices but milk more money out of gamers, and it just works. I think as well this became more of the norm thanks to laws regarding loot boxes becoming illegal in Europe, if I remember correctly. So this had to be sorted quickly on what to do instead, so now it's become appropriate to just have a battle pass. Although loot boxes are still around though in some ways, with Overwatch finally figuring out how to bring them back, so look back to 2016 gamers. With this progress, it's become this thing though now where these games that had you earning back in the day have now gone to pay to earn. Even if the skins aren't great, you'll pay the price of battle pass admission, not just because you can be part of a small group of people that earns the entire battle pass, but also have maybe one skin that you really wanted. And even if you're a gamer who continues to play Fortnite without buying the battle pass, well, that's okay, you still level up, and hey, before the season ends, you got to the end of the battle pass without paying money. Well, maybe this time you pay the fee though to get the battle pass maybe, huh? I mean, you're already there, why not? Fortnite has just released their newest battle pass and season, and overall from what I saw, it's pretty mid. Even with the addition of Sub-Zero being in the pass, he's all the way at the end. But before that, honestly just nothing that grabs me, as it usually is with these battle passes these days. I think the last time I actually gave a damn about one was the one with Peter Griffin and Solid Snake. Were those skins last year? I really can't remember, man. It's all a blur of skins for me, but that honestly must be how Leatherface feels. But this type of pricing, even for the price of admission, feels off, even if the pass costs around $10, as in the end, it is really just skins or cosmetics for the characters that won't affect the game at all. Which, don't get me wrong, $10 for 100 levels of skins and cosmetics and etc. is not the worst thing in the world, but it depends on what game you're playing. I feel like it's even worse for a battle pass when the game is a first-person game, like games like The Finals or Call of Duty or Overwatch. Sure, it's a cool looking skin when you see it in the shop or battle pass, but this game's first person, so at best you see the hands from your skins while everyone else looks and doesn't really give a flying fuck. If I'm paying $35 in a video game, that $35 is going towards a game's expansion or big DLC. I'm paying $35 for the Witcher 3's expansion pass instead of $35 for one Ninja Turtle in Call of Duty. That's right, just one Ninja Turtle out of the 4 brothers. Cowabunga. This now leads me into our final point and reasoning to these prices nowadays, which is number 6. Companies know you will pay. Now, maybe not you specifically, maybe one of the other people watching this video, but you will pay, and it works. These games will release that skin, and that switch in your brain will activate to pay the toll in whatever game you love, and it just works. And it's become a thing that has started to plague outside of free-to-play and multiplayer games, where single-player only games have even gone through with their own online shops where you can buy stuff. Assassin's Creed is one of the most well-known for this, as not only will we receive a season pass of content, but we'll also get a shop that, though maybe the game is a broken mess at launch, you know damn well that Ubisoft shop will work just fine as they see if you'll cave to paying for a thing that will either reveal the location of their collectibles, or you'll go ahead and buy a unicorn skin for your ship. What the fuck? And even if you don't buy it, someone else will, as companies dig the hole further and further for gold, and it continues to be allowed. I would say there will come a day when games will cost as much as full price games, but honestly, we're already there. Thank you all so much for watching. This went a lot longer than I expected, but the moment I started thinking about this type of video further, I just kept going and writing, so I finally put a full stop at the end of the video and we're finally done. If you did enjoy the video though, be sure to like and even subscribe, as this was a fun one to work on, even if it's more doom and gloom for gaming than happiness. Microtransactions, DLCs, cosmetics, battle passes, they're truly a necessary evil that businesses see for games now. But I hope there comes a time soon where gamers will go hell no when it comes to these prices. And honestly, I feel that may be soon, with rumors of businesses wanting to release standard games at $100 USD prices. And I'm sure cosmetics will go up and have even less value sooner than later, but if we're somehow able to, as a community, start saying no and refusing to answer with our wallets for these price raises, we may be successful. I mean, if we can change the way Helldivers 2 prices their cosmetics, or at least the way they do it like we did when they released the Killzone cosmetics, then I feel we can do this again with other video games. If you agree or disagree with anything in this video though, let me know in the comments below, but if you enjoyed, be sure to stick around for new videos really soon. Once again though, thank you all for watching, and as always, it's appreciated.